Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I am here with my Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit build for the month of November. And just as a reminder, our CKC group does take a bit of a break in December. We don't do our kit builds, but we do have other fun activities, so be sure to check us out either on our blog or over in our Facebook group. But for now, let's start this last kit build of 2022. Our kit hostess and fearless leader Lisa has chosen this kit company, which is a German company, to be inspired by. And while they do have lots of photos of their kit, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the larger views of these. So here is the overview of the kit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pattern papers, a gold alphabet sticker, a pack of die cuts. These are sequins and enamels, I believe, and then some wood buttons. So a little bit closer look still at the pattern papers. We have PinkFresh Studio and Maggie Holmes mostly. Now I've used all of these collections in various ways over time. I believe I might still own this piece of paper, but I'm pretty sure I used my PinkFresh already. So I will dive into my Maggie Holmes and PinkFresh supplies and see how I can be inspired by the designers, if not these particular patterns from other manufacturers. And then this, of course, is the B-sides of the pattern papers, and so this offers quite a different view with some deeper, richer tones, and this green circular print is something different, so I could be inspired to pull something along those lines. And then we have very home-centric ephemera from PinkFresh Studio, and I know I have bits and pieces of that left, so I'll see what I pull from that. And then, oh, these aren't quite enamel dots. They're, well, maybe the hearts are, but they're kind of gem-like. And then some floral sequins, so I can definitely pull something along those lines. And then wood buttons. If you've seen my kit builds before or some of my embellishment creation videos, you probably know that I love wood buttons. So this is definitely something that I will be inspired by. I just got a new package of, I believe it's cocoa vanilla wood buttons, so I might see if those will fit into this kit. And then our gold alphabet sticker. So that was a really quick peek at our inspiration. I'm going to take some of these ideas and go to my stash and start pulling. Real quick before we get started with this next part, I do need your opinion on something, and I've posed that question at the end of this video. I hope you'll stick around and leave me your feedback on that question, because I would appreciate it. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into this kit build. I started my kit build knowing that I had this PinkFresh Studio piece of paper in my supplies still, or at least a partial piece of it, and I'm going to include that in my kit. I also knew I had a Maggie Holmes map print. It's not the exact same one, but I bought it recently, so I think it's still available, and anything that is available, I will link you up below. Now, next up is a sheet of Chamel paper based on this PinkFresh Studio word print, which I know I've already used. So I wanted something that got that word vibe in there, and I think these jumbo letters do the trick. Okay, next up was this Paige Evans, there we go, Paige Evans, very geometrical print. And so I pulled a bunch of options, not knowing where I really wanted to go with that, including a different geometric print by Paige Evans. Now I thought that top sheet was going to be my choice, but as I'm looking through my colors and I'm thinking about my kit, I am trying to narrow some things down, and this sheet of paper I decide is probably a little too pastel than what I want to do. I am wanting more of an autumnal mood to some of this kit, so I chose those two autumnal pieces of paper. Now next up was this floral print, and this top piece was a geometric that could have been either to replace that floral or with the previous geometrics, but I didn't like the tone of the blue, so I eliminated it right away. And then I'm looking to see what of these remaining 4 choices I wanted to keep. And then I realized I had yet another choice here, because this alpha print had some purple in it, as well as some other purple in the inspiration, which we'll get to later. That floral tone-on-tone kind of pinky purple worked just right for what I was going for. So next up was this hot air balloon inspiration piece. I didn't have anything like that in my set, so I went with 2 different ideas, either that sky mood or the scale of the print with these big stars. And so as I'm looking through, do I want these sky papers? I eliminate the ones that just aren't right away. And I'm still thinking here about where I want to go. The raindrops have that sky vibe, but they're a little too pastel again, so I eliminate that one. And then between the cloud and the stars, I'm just not feeling either one of those. And then I realize I have this other larger scale print to possibly put in there. And I decide, you know what, I'm just going to eliminate that piece of the inspiration altogether because I have more paper to go through. And this stack of paper is my B-side inspiration. So we zoomed past a yellow print that I included in my collection that was very similar, a blue piece that I included that was very similar, and then that was a yellowy, goldeny yellow piece. And here is this green inspiration, and this was kind of the closest I could find to that, and I'm not sure about it yet, but it's also not a hard no. So I set it aside, and I go through a third stack of paper, and this is what I call my color support, which is, and that first piece I picked based on that other sheet that I eliminated, so those two both went out. Now I had picked this color in here because I've been wanting to use it for some autumn layouts, and it just doesn't go with the kit very well, so it gets put out. And then these two sheets I pulled because I thought they were more purple than they actually are looking to me when I'm going through this, and they were near my purple papers, but I really did want some purples, so I eliminated those because they were too blue. Now I have a stack of papers here with some purple coloring to them. This piece I almost put in my kit last month and didn't, but here it is. It's gonna make it into my kit this month. And then taking a look, I decide that Vicky Bouton piece isn't working because it's the wrong scale. When I'm doing color support, I really like to keep the patterns smaller so that they can be used for layering and mats and not be a large scale pattern. And then I really like that grid print, and I'm going to save the Lawn Fawn watercolory purple print for some other projects. And then I'm eliminating that more textured kind of wood grain purple print because it had the magenta tone in it that I already eliminated. All right, so I'm looking at this yellow check, and I think I have a couple of yellow sheets in here already with that kind of golden yellow dot and a PinkFresh yellow. So what I do is I think about this green that I had set aside, and I decided I want it to add in some green instead of adding more yellow. So my color palette ends up being purple and yellow with some pops of navy and green. And so that wraps up my paper selections. All right, the inspiration kit had this PinkFresh Studio ephemera pack, and I own it, and it has purple and also pops of red in here that match some of my other papers. So into my kit it goes. Then I was inspired by the kind of sequin mix in the kit to pull these puffy stickers from Paige Evans, as well as some sequins. These are shaped wood grain sequins, which go along with a few of the other wood grain elements I've added. These ones have little flower shapes in there, and that's really the only thing I want out of that packet. And this packet has some small purple ones in there, and so that's the only thing I want out of that packet. Next up is wood grain buttons. Now, I thought I was going to pull some completed wood grain buttons, but I want to play with these buttons, which I will have a video for you in just a couple days on the 4th. All right, with gold alphas in the inspiration, I pulled some of my gold alphas, and because I know gold doesn't work for every story, I also pulled some white alphas. Taking a step back to the pattern papers, there was this cut apart sheet from Paige Evans, which I had skipped over in the paper selections. And that's because I have these little booklets from Paige Evans, and they're 2x2 square booklets, and they're great for layering, and they have good colors in them for my kit, and these little phrases. And I really like the little phrases when I'm working with cut apart sheets, so I get my phrases in a smaller scale. And that means that the cut apart sheets that I did pull in different colorways, I am not going to need them. They will get eliminated. That finishes off the embellishments for my kit. I kept it a lot simpler than I did last month because last month was a little overwhelming. Okay, as we take a final look at this kit and some still photos, I have a question for you, especially if you've seen my videos in the past. This video was edited much slower and allowed time for more detail than I usually do. Often my videos are sped up quite a bit to make them shorter because I know everybody has very busy lives. So let me know, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a faster video that gets straight to the point, or do you like to take the time for more details in the videos that you watch? And I know everyone's opinions will be different, but I'm trying to make these videos as useful for the most people as possible. So leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have an artful day.